I'm sitting slightly over from where I usually sit, so ooh, new angle, ooh. I'm gonna talk about lists today, and I make lists all the time. I can't do anything without a list. I'll forget things and I just like stress out unless I can write things down and have a written explanation of what I'm gonna do that day. This week I was talking to one of my friends who was making a packing list for a trip she's taking, and I was actually appalled at her list making inabilities. Literally, she wrote packing list. Under that she wrote clothes, and I was like, what do you mean clothes? What do you mean? You need shoes and pants and shirts and coats, and you need to be more specific. And she's like, no, I'm just gonna pack my clothes. Like, it's not hard to pack your clothes. And I just can't fathom that, because for me it's very specific things on my list. You would think spring break is a time where you can just kind of hang out and not do a whole lot and not worry too much about obligations or whatever, but I had to have a list of every day of spring break that I organized like a week before so that I knew what I was going to be doing each day. I think I might actually have a list problem. My mom always tells me to declutter my nightstand because there's actually so much stuff on it and it's ridiculous. However, that's where I keep my multiple lists. Right now I have a list from yesterday, a list for today, and a list for tomorrow, and maybe also a list for Sunday on my nightstand. I have two lists of video ideas. One was my original VEDA list, and one is my kind of like updated VEDA list as I've gotten more ideas or taken tags from people or whatever. It's one of my biggest type A tendencies that I have to have everything written down, but honestly, I just can't do anything. I told my friend that I was going to be really busy over spring break, and she said, doing what? And I said, I don't even know. That's why I have a list so I can write it down so I don't have to remember it. There's just too much going on in my brain. I realized that I've become really dependent on making lists, and I don't know whether that's a bad thing or whether it's just a personality trait that I have. Right now my life is just too complex for me to do things without having written it down. Plus there's just something really rewarding about having a to-do list and then crossing things off as you're done with them. Like, I feel great about it. I do have this problem though where if there isn't enough on my list or if there's too much on my list, nothing gets done. So I have to be very careful. I said in my video yesterday that I have a really good work ethic, and I think making lists is part of that. I think if I were a person who doesn't make lists, I wouldn't feel a need to actually work hard and cross something off and get it done. If you're a person who can't function without lists, tell me your favorite kind of list to make that isn't a things to do list. And if you're a person who can function without lists, can you explain that to me? Because I actually don't understand how you get anything done. Or maybe you don't get anything done, in which case, tell me so. I will see you tomorrow. Why does the combination STS exist in English? Because like lists is the hardest word to say, tests